It's dinner time at the Todoroki Palace, and you couldn't be more nervous. Shoto's father is scary and stern, and you have been avoiding him as much as possible, but you can't avoid him at dinner time. You sit down next to Shoto, glancing at him nervously. His father hadn't arrived yet. The atmosphere is calming yet quiet, which eases your nerves slightly until he comes barging into the room. Enji Todoroki. He sits across from you. Discarding Shoto, he claps twice and then maids rush in, carrying trays of food and getting them down. Thank you for the meal. The king picks up a chicken leg and stuffs it in his mouth, chewing slowly, watching you. You slice the food, carefully placing it in your mouth. Maintaining eye contact, Shoto glances at his father. You sweat nervously. So, the king says, swallowing, have you decided anything about the wedding? You wipe your face, and with the cloth, of course, and shake your head. What Shoto says pops in your mind. Of course, he won't start to hint at all until after the wedding, but just be prepared. He must want the wedding to happen as quickly as possible. You smiled. You'll always be good at lying. Well, Your Majesty, me and Shoto here. He looks surprised at you using his son's first name. Might need a while to prepare the wedding. It must be elegant, don't you think? Fit for a king? You must understand. The king hides his grimace, but you can basically read his mind just from his expression. He doesn't care. Shoto looks surprised. Shoto looks at you, surprised. You glance at him as you slice the turkey, smiling. The king clears his throat. Well, yes, but you should wed as soon as possible. I will hire someone to make sure of it. Shoot! But you come up with a combat. I should meet the people first. Bond with them, though? It would be better for the kingdom knowing their future queen. You shoot daggers at the king with your eyes, willing him completely. He nods. Perhaps. Fine then, but it must be done in a month's time. You inwardly celebrate, looking at Shoto once again. 1 month is more than enough time to dethrone King Mizuka and expose his plans. Shoto smiles at you, nodding slightly. You serve dinner, and now you must survive the night. The castle is dark and the sky is darker. You're sneaking through the halls to Shoto's room in the middle of the night. But not for some naughty purposes. What were you thinking? You need to make a plan. You're good at planning and strategizing, and you thoroughly enjoyed it, as boring as it seems. The thrill of knowing exactly what's going to happen was exactly what time? Addicting much. You sneak through the quiet halls, surprised at the lack of guards. Your heart is pounding, filled your ears. You knocked on Shoto's door, hoping he's awake at this hour. It creaks open. Shoto is sitting at his desk, lifting through the papers in a book, a small light on beside him. Hello, he whispers, looking at you. You instantly cover yourself. You're wearing a very revealing nightdress. Hello? He waves at you, telling you to come closer. Look. He points out a book in front of him and quickly and quietly reads the page. Who are you? Asks the little prince, and added, You are very prettier to look at. I am a fox, the fox said. Come and play with me, he proposed the little prince. I am so unhappy. I cannot play with you, the fox said. I am not tamed. Please excuse me, said the prince. But after some thought, he added, What does the mean tame? Do you not live here? Said the fox. That is it what you're looking for. You smile. I know this book. Hiro used to read it to me when I first came to the palace. You think about the book as he puts it away. In the short lines you read, You do not live here. What is it you are looking for? It's ironic. You don't live here. You don't live anywhere anymore. Yet I don't know what I'm looking for. You think to yourself. What are you looking for? To be a good queen? Shoto smiles and starts to speak, interrupting your thoughts. Yes, The Little Prince. My mother read it to me long, long ago. My eyes, lit up but small lump next to him, are filled with longing. For what do you not know? Do you miss her? You don't know much about the Todoroki family, but you do know that Shoto has siblings somewhere, and that his mother is currently with a doctor. People say the queen is insane. Shoto sighs. I do not deserve to miss her. What did you come here for? He says, eyes no longer showing emotion. We have a plan to make. You say to him, changing the subject. I don't want my father to rule anymore. Shoto raises an eyebrow. Nor do I. You nod. Both our fathers are corrupt, in one way or another. I feel like they have alternative motives. Yes, I agree. So, you two spend the night thinking, brainstorming, coming up with a plan to dethrone the kings and be free once again. For this plan to work, we must convince everyone that we're in love. You whisper to your fiancé. He nods. We must. You unwittingly play with your hands. You've always been good at pretending, but this is Shoto. Your plan has to work, but it will only if he can cooperate. I assume you've never had a girlfriend or any lovers of some sort? You ask him, with a small lamp lighting up his desk and both of your faces. I have not, he tells you, looking away. Well then, you say, just treat me as if we're already married. You smile at him, hoping he can see you in the dim light. We have 1 month until our wedding. If this doesn't work, then we're trapped in a marriage neither of us wants, and both of our fathers are still in power. For the kingdom, you say to him as sort of prep talk. For us, he replies. We're doing this for us. You pause, and then nod. I'd better leave. Would you want anyone to catch us? You laugh nervously. Bye then, he whispers, sending you off with a small wave. You wave back and leave, quietly shutting the door behind you. You hurry back through the dark, quiet halls to your room, narrowly avoiding Tatashi. You slide into the large room, making you feel small. The whole room is much larger than yours at home. You miss the gold and silver colors, now replaced with the dark reds and blacks of the Todoroki place. Your old room was right next to Hiro's, who you visited when you had nightmares. The guards' meaningless chatter, unlike here, where the guards barely look even at each other. Even if your father is not a good man, his people are happy. His staff. That's the difference between King Mizuka and King Todoroki. King Mizuka can lie. He can make his subjects feel privileged, when in reality, they are far from it. King Todoroki's subjects actually see him as tyranny, but he still has power over them, so they can't do anything. There are so many differences between the two men, but they are still both one thing. Tyrants. Two men who can get whatever they want. Two men who can arrange a marriage between their children and not care about their feelings. And as much as you hate to admit it, you miss him. You don't miss King Mizuka. You miss the man you called father, the man who taught you to do everything you know, the man who bandaged you himself rather than the palace staff when you got hurt, the man who comforted you and Hiro when you both had nightmares. You missed your father, as fake as he may be. With memories of the past haunting you and worries about the future, it's a miracle you managed to fall asleep. Wake up, princess, we have a big day today. You groan and sit up at the voice of one of your maids. Pig day. She nods. Yes, His Highness has a small trip planned. You got ready, sort of excited for the change of schedule, and go in Shoto's room to ask him about the small trip. Takashi behind you. Ah, Shoto. You meet him in the hallway. I was just about to head to your room. As was I, love. Shoto bows. Love? You nervously laugh, trying to hide your blush. He must have started pretending already. Yes, darling, good morning, you say, trying to compose yourself. Takashi giggles. And what, may I ask? You turn to the guard. It's so funny. He smiles. Oh, nothing, Your Majesty. It just by the looks of it. He grins. You two must have had a good time last night. Your face erupts at his sentence, but Shoto seems unfazed. Yes, it was quite a night indeed. She smiles at the guard, not getting the hint. Takashi must have seen you sneak out last night and gotten the wrong idea. How embarrassing. We better go to breakfast, Shocho, you tell him. I have some things I need to speak with you about. You follow him to the dining hall, Takashi leaving as well to eat with the other guards. The king hasn't arrived yet. It's just you and Shoto at the large table. He sits right next to you. So, you mumble, are we starting the plan? He nods. I assure you would want to start as soon as possible. Am I doing good? He seems proud, so you nod. Very good. Just continue. All right, my love. Oh my god, you will not get used to this anytime soon. The two kings join you, and breakfast begins, and the kings reveal the disdain about the small trip. You said you wanted to bond with the people, he says. So you're taking a trip to the farmer's market? Shocho must sense your confusion, so he whispers to you. Every year the villages hold a big event they call the farmer's market. It goes on for about a week, and it's smaller to a carnival. You nod slightly, thanking your fiancé. It will not be a surprise visit, but we've never made an announcement before, so it should be interesting. The king says to you, a good chance for you to introduce yourself. Thank you, you say. When do we leave? After lunch, he states. Then breakfast continues. No words between were spoken nor liked. You must look your best, princess. The villagers should be very excited to meet their future queen. The maids swarmed you, fixing your hair and doing your makeup. When they're done, you look extravagant. Girls, you say, we're just going to the village. Is this really necessary? All of your maids nod enthusiastically and some giggle. Well, princess, the head maid snickers. You want to look your best after your first night with your fiancé. It is quite important for a lady to maintain her dignity. First night? Dignity? Takashi must have gossiped. You inwardly groaned, but played along. Why, yes, I suppose you're right. My dear is going to love me in this dress. You giggle like a hormonal teenager, making sure to play the part. Your mates giggle with you, pushing you out of your room and to Shoto's. Hello, my love. He greets you, kissing your hand. You dismiss your maids as they run off giggling. Hello, Shoto. I had a great idea earlier, Shoto says to you, looking sort of excited. Instead of leaving after lunch for the market, we should leave right now. Oh, I suppose so, but why? You ask. We could picnic, he says, a red tint on his cheeks. I thought you might enjoy it. You smile. Of course I would. That's so sweet, Shoto. Then let's go. He smiles at you. The picnic awaits, my lady.